Good evening everyone, I'm Jonathan Agnew joining you for tonight's 20 over match.
The captains are out in the middle and are about to toss the coin. Looks like they'll be coming out to bat then. I can't see too many empty seats around the ground, so we must already be close to a full house. No run there. Good shot and good stop too. No runs scored. That's a maiden over. If you can't get to wicket, you squeeze the runs. Do you think there's more variety in spin bowling now than there ever has been in the past?
The variety in spin bowling these days is interesting. Certainly there's quite a bit of it. We've got Shane Warne on the one hand down in Australia. We've got Mathia Muralidharan bowling absolutely brilliantly for Sri Lanka. And then there is the next crop of spinners, and there are quite a lot of those too. Guys like Victoria in New Zealand and of course plenty of others around the world, not quite as good as the first two that I mentioned. I'm not too sure that there's more variety in spin. I can remember playing against an Indian team that had 4 spinners and absolutely no fast bowlers. So certainly in years gone, in places like India and Pakistan, there were lots and lots of spinners. But at the moment, we certainly have got some great spinners around, and it is very, very good for the game.
No run there, they simply can't get it away. Immaculate timing. He found the gap with precision.
He picked his spot well there.
That was a confident shot.
Six off the over then. That's one more onto the score. He struck that really firmly. No run there. Top quality shot. The bowler's beginning to lose his line in length.
Absolutely effortless. He hardly seemed to hit it.
That was a very confident shot. No run there, they simply can't get it away. That ball was really moving. No run there. That's 5 off the over. The quickie to start a new over. He's got the edge. He really struck that hard. Nothing scored there.
And he's got away with it. That's a really good shout.
He's asking for the third umpire on this one. Let's have a look at that from another angle.
There's the signal. He's safe.
No run there. Tremendous shot. Good placement. That'll really annoy the fielding captain.
On a pitch like this, I feel for the bowlers, there really is no margin for error.
The width of that delivery allowed him to knock it for 4. That's 7 runs scored off the over. The ball just runs out into the covers. He watched that onto the back perfectly.
Smashing shot, really magnificent. I'd pay money just to come and see that again.
He picked the length really early there. Facing Lillian Thompson must have been an eye-opening experience, Tony, but would it have changed much if you'd been afforded the protective equipment used today?
Well, facing Lillian Thompson certainly was a wonderful experience. There were occasions when one feared for one's life, I suppose. However, as a youngster, I suppose you take a very positive attitude to that sort of challenge. It would have been a bit different had we had the protective equipment that they have today. However, that is with hindsight. One of the things that does happen without any protective equipment is that you have to keep your eye on the ball. And I think a lot more players these days are actually hit on the head because they have this protection, and while there is still a chance of being injured, there is not a chance of being injured quite as badly. We had to keep our eye on the ball. It was fun, and certainly a lot of fun with hindsight.
He placed that superbly. No runs off that delivery. That's a perfect line. Very expensive over indeed. One more to the extras. Great stop. Great timing. That'll be 4 more.
Great shot. That'll give him some confidence.
That was a really classy shot. Lovely shot. 4.
And a cracking shot, that one. He looks in fantastic form.
That was a confident shot. Batsmen are coming back for a second. Really quick scoring here. Tremendous shot. That's out of the ground.
That was a cracking shot. He really got into position beautifully there.
That nearly joined us in the commentary box. Beautiful timing. 4 more.
Great shot. That'll give him some confidence.
That was a really classy shot. That's a disastrously expensive over.
With the end of the fielding restrictions, the captain should really be changing his field around now.
Another single.
This could be close.
No runs scored. That's the end of another over.
Oh, he's dropped it.
That's a stroke of luck for the batsman.
At this level of cricket, you really cannot afford to drop catches.
These two are building a solid partnership. What do you think of Brisbane as a cricket ground, Tony?
Brisbane is a typical Australian stadium these days, completely surrounded by stands, very different to what it used to be like. The pitch here is the most consistent pitch that I've ever had anything to do with, in so much as it's always been the same. There's always been a lot in it for the fast bowlers, a lot of whom come from these parts. They love playing on the Brisbane Cricket Ground pitch. It's just very bouncy, very seamy as well, because it's a humid climate. And I suppose that's the feature of playing cricket in Brisbane. You tend to get the ball to swing quite a lot, and it also moves off the pitch, so you don't see many spinners operating in Brisbane.
Very well played. That easily cleared the boundary.
That really does get the bowlers back up. No bowler likes being hit for six.
That shot brought the crowd to their feet.
They'll have to be quick here.
He's got away with that.
Batsman
Big shout. Let's see what the third umpire says. Let's take a look at that from another angle.
They're tough ones for the umpire. We get to see it in slow motion or with Hawkeye over and over, but in the middle, they only get one shot at it at full speed.
There's the signal. He's safe. He's hit that very hard. 4 more.
He's found the gap.
The bowler really needs to keep it tighter. No ball. It's crazy to bowl no balls with this new rule about the free hit. Exquisite shot.
Smashing shot. Really magnificent. I'd pay money just to come and see that again.
The crowd really enjoyed that one. Very expensive over indeed. Great footwork, beautiful shot.
That was a cracking shot. He really got into position beautifully there.
The crowd really enjoyed that.
Well, that's a cracking shot. He really struck that beautifully.
Oh, that's good batting. He might have hit it in the air, but it was pretty safe and got him 4 runs. And a cracking shot, that one. He looks in fantastic form.
He was onto that in a flash. No runs scored. There might be trouble here.
Well, his captain won't be too happy with him there. You can't afford to give runs away in top-level cricket.
Dot ball. His captain won't be too happy with that. Well, that really was a fine piece of fielding. No run there. Very well timed. That's just the kind of shot that makes the fielding captain want to tear his hair out. Very unlucky. That was a confident shot. That ball was really moving. Lovely shot. That brings up his 50.
He isn't hanging about, that's for sure.
Let's have a look at that from another angle. Very expensive over indeed. This will be his last over. This could be close. Really quick scoring at the moment. Lovely shot.
Wonderful shot. He really punished the bowler there.
For 4. The fielder hardly had a chance to move.
No ball.
No ball. So a free hit. He could only be run out. And from another angle, let's take a look at Hawkeye. Well, the batsman was absolutely bamboozled by that one. It was brilliantly concealed and disguised by the bowler. Six off the over then. Beautifully played. The crowd applaud a great knock.
This lad's on fire. There's no stopping him at the moment.
Let's have a look at that from another angle. Great stroke play. That's in the air, and it's sailed over the fence.
He might not have been quite to the pitch, but continued with the shot anyway and hit it miles.
The ball just runs out into the covers. Confident appeal. That's out. That's an important breakthrough.
That was a terrible call. He didn't have a hope of making it.
Let's look at that again. A right-hander and a left-hander at the crease now. He's having some problems with his run-up out there. It's crazy to bowl no balls with this new rule about the free hit. Very well timed. The bowler's beginning to lose his line and length.
On a pitch like this, I feel for the bowlers, there really is no margin for error.
Let's take another look at that in replay. It really is scoring at an excellent rate. That's the end of another over.
That's out. Caught.
He's really helped his team's cause with that innings.
Let's have a look at the action replay. Absolute concentration required from the new man in. Off the mark. Let's take another look at that in replay. A no ball. That'll be another free hit for the batsman. So a free hit. He could only be run out. They'll have to hurry.
Oh, the bowler won't be very happy with that.
They're in disarray. Another 2 runs. How important is it for a team to have an all-rounder these days, Tony?
Well, I might be a little bit biased, but I think that all-rounders have always been a vital part of the makeup of any team. The more of them you can have, the more batting depth you have and the more bowling depth you have. And, of course, all-rounders tend to be quite talented in all departments, and therefore they're not going to let you down in the field. So I think that even more so these days, the one-day game, for example, requires more batsmen, because that allows the top-end batsmen to have a bit of a go. Even if you lose your wicket, there's going to be someone down the order to help you out, especially if you've got a few all-rounders. The other thing is that it seems to me these days that the tail are taking things far more seriously. And so if you have some good middle order players to back with the tail, you're going to make a big difference to your totals in all the matches in which you play. So nothing's changed. In fact, it's probably even more important these days to have good all-rounders.
Great timing on the shot. That's beaten the fielder to the fence. That wasn't a great delivery. Good shot down the ground. His timing's perfect today.
Well, that's what you should expect if you bowl like that on this pitch.
The crowd really enjoyed that one.
It's gone down. The fielding team may regret that.
Didn't help his own cause there by putting that down, but he'll know that better than anyone else.
Very well played.
That's great cricket. He knew there wasn't a fielder out there, so it wasn't risky.
That's run away for 4. That was a confident shot. No ball called. That'll be a free hit. That was a very confident shot. No balls these days mean the batsman has a free hit. He can only be run out off this ball.
No ball.
No ball. That's the second 6 from the over. So the umpire signalling free hit, and so the batsman can only be run out off this ball. Batsmen are looking for 2. Two more to the score. That's an appalling over. This will be the last of his allotted overs then. That's a sensational shot. That easily cleared the boundary.
Well, the bowler won't like that too much.
That shot brought the crowd to their feet. Batsmen are coming back for 2. Well, what's the umpire going to say about this one? There's the signal. He's safe. No runs off that delivery. The batsmen are coming back for a second. Very expensive over indeed. The seamer to start a new over then. Batsman check. That's a really good shout. That's out.
What a mess. There was never a run there.
Let's take a look at that from another angle. And there's a fielder underneath it. Yet again, the batsman fails to follow the ball, and he's out.
Great catch. It's important not to miss anything in the field at all.
Tremendous shot. I can't believe that. What a shot. Over the boundary rope for 6 to open his account. That was 6 all the way. No run taken off that ball. Lovely shot.
The captain won't be too pleased with his bowler there.
Once it's past the fielder on this outfield, it's a certain 4. The fielder hardly had a chance to move. He's got the edge. Batsmen are coming back for 2. That's 2 more runs on the board. An expensive over for England, that one. What would you describe as the high point in your career, Tony?
Well, the high point in my career was playing Test cricket. I think as a kid, if you go back all those years to when you were running around in the schoolyard or in the back garden playing cricket, if you would have said at that stage to myself or to any youngster, you are one day going to play Test cricket, well, that would be the absolute ultimate. And to get your Test cap, to be handed that Test cap, is something that they can never take away. And if you then go on and do well at that level, that's a bonus. But to play Test cricket was the high point in my career.
That's 1 more onto the score. Beautiful stroke. That's 4 all the way.
He's found the gap.
He used the pace of the outfield perfectly. Beautiful placement, 4 all the way.
He plays that shot really well and it brings him a lot of runs.
That clattered into the hoardings. Another over gone. This will be the last of his allotted overs then. Another run onto the scoreboard. The ball just runs out into the covers.
Well, he's really riding his luck out there today. The batsman changed. Well, what's the umpire going to say about this one?
The umpire isn't sure, so he's requesting the third umpire. Let's have a look at that from another angle.
They're tough ones for the umpire. We get to see it in slow motion or with Hawkeye over.
There's the red light. He's out.
He doesn't look best pleased with his partner there. It certainly wasn't the greatest call in the world.
The batsman picks up one more.
He's hit that very hard.
Once it beats the fielder on this outfield, it races away.
He picked his spot well there.
He's certainly not hanging around.
Well, the bowlers are taking a bit of stick out there.
The final over about to be bowled.
That's raced away for 4.
Wonderful shot. He really punished the bowler there.
That clattered into the hoardings. A dolly!
Let's have a look at that again. They're right into the tail now.
He's found the gap with that one.
He picked his spot well there.
The crowd really enjoyed that one.
Batsmen are looking for 2. That brings the innings to a close. It really is a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. The quick bowler to start the first over. Edged. Let's take a look at that from another angle. No runs off that delivery. Lovely shot. Super shot there.
Great shot. That'll give him some confidence.
The crowd really enjoyed that one.
Got ball. That's nicely played. That is a textbook shot.
He's found the gap.
He used the pace of the outfield perfectly.
Well, that's wonderfully timed. He timed that to perfection.
Everything was in the right place there. It fairly raced to the boundary.
Well, he's playing to the crowd now.
That over helped the run rate somewhat.
Great timing on the shot.
That's 4 more.
Well, he played that with a lovely straight bat.
The crowd really enjoyed that. No ball called. That'll be a free hit.
The crowd enjoyed that shot.
It's crazy to bowl no balls with this new rule about the free hit. Immaculate timing.
He's found the gap with that one.
It's been a rather expensive over so far.
Oh, he's dropped it.
They'll be gutted to put that one down. The ball just runs out into the covers. There's been a move away from using specialist wicketkeepers, and more emphasis placed on selecting batsmen who can keep as well. Do you think it's just a phase, or has the specialist glove man gone for good?
There's always been debate about wicketkeepers and who in fact should be selected in the top teams. I was lucky. The England selectors picked Alan Knott, who turned out, as far as I'm concerned, to be one of the best wicketkeepers ever. He also was very, very good with the bat and worked very hard at that. And that, I think, is what's more important than anything. There is no wicketkeeper that should rest on his laurels and allow or accept that his batting is going to be secondary. His batting should be every bit as important to him in the modern game as his keeping. And I think that philosophy does apply these days, not only to wicketkeepers, it applies to fast bowlers and spinners as well. Everyone is trying to bat well. And they all know, and that's the wicketkeepers I'm talking about, that unless they can bat, their chance...
He's got him! Let's have a look at that from another angle. I'm sure the new batsman will look to play himself in. No run taken off that ball. No ball. So the umpire signalling free hit, and so the batsman can only be run out off this ball. He's put it down. Dear me, you really can't afford to put down chances like this. The fielding team will regret that.
Well, he didn't just get his hands in the right place at all for that.
No run there. And the end of the over. Batsmen are coming back for two. Two runs there. Tremendous shot. He's got hold of that.
The fielding captain will be a little concerned by that.
The crowd really enjoyed that. No run there, they simply can't get it away. No ball. That's a free hit. No balls these days mean the batsman has a free hit. He can only be run out off this ball. The batsmen are coming back for a second. That's a confident appeal. That could be out. It is.
What a mess. There was never a run there.
Let's look at that again. Serious pressure on the new man in then. No run. A productive over for the batting side. Good shot and good stop too. Physical fitness is obviously a big part of the modern game, but just how important is mental strength?
There is a bit of an emphasis these days, perhaps a little bit more so than in my day, on physical fitness. To be perfectly honest, I'm not too sure that I agree with the way they're going about it, because what you really need to be in terms of fitness as a bowler is to be fit to bowl. You don't need to be fit to run a marathon, you need to be fit to bowl, so you need to be quite agile. So there's obviously a program of fitness that can be very useful for that. It's just as important to try and develop the mental strength required to overcome some of the hurdles that you're going to be confronted with at the highest level of cricket. There are plenty of those, believe me. They range from the ability to keep going, and that's a mental thing.
That's beautifully played, the ball coming right out of the middle of the bat. That's raced away through.
That was a fine shot for four.
That's a real crowd pleaser. You just can't afford to give the batsman that kind of width in these conditions. He hit that with great power. Very expensive over. Dot ball. What a beautiful stroke. Pure timing. Glorious shot.
Oh, lovely timing. He played that beautifully.
The crowd really enjoyed that. Great stroke play.
On a pitch like this, I feel for the bowlers, there really is no margin for error.
The crowd really enjoyed that one. No ball called. That'll be a free hit. So a free hit, who could only be run out.
That's well played. That's gone many a mile.
Great shot. That'll give him some confidence.
He hit that with great power. Great shot.
Great footwork, beautiful shot.
Absolutely effortless. He hardly seemed to hit it.
The crowd are giving him a warm round of applause.
He isn't hanging about, that's for sure.
And from another angle, well, the bowler will be glad that's over. It's a hugely expensive over.
That's the end of the fielding restrictions. Expect the captain to start changing things around now.
No run there, they simply can't get it away. Lovely shot. That's beaten the fielder to the fence.
Well, if you want to show the kids the perfect way to play that shot, there's a fine example.
That's out. Yet again, the batsman fails to follow the ball, and he's out.
Great catch. It's important not to miss anything in the field at all.
Let's have a look at that from another angle. I'm sure the new batsman will look to play himself in. No run there. Four runs from the over. Let's have a look at that again. He really is scoring at an excellent rate. Batsmen are coming back for two.
Well, what's the umpire going to say about this one? Let's see what the third umpire says.
Let's have a look at the action replay.
They're tough ones for the umpire. We get to see it in slow motion or with Hawkeye over.
There's the red light. He's out.
He was yards out there. That was a terrible run to take.
Absolute concentration required from the new man in. The ball just runs out into the covers. He's got away with that.
That big shout. The umpire's calling for a replay. Let's take another look at that in replay.
They're tough ones for the umpire. We get to see it in slow motion or with Hawkeye over and over, but it...
There's the signal. He's safe.
The batsmen changed their minds. What would you describe as the high point in your career, Tony?
Well, the high point in my career was playing Test cricket. I think as a kid, if you go back all those years to when you were running around in the schoolyard or in the back garden playing cricket, if you had said at that stage to myself or to any youngster, you are one day going to play Test cricket, well, that would be the absolute ultimate. And to get your Test cap, to be handed that Test cap, is something that they can never take away. And if you then go on and do well at that level, that's a bonus. But to play Test cricket was the high point in my career.
One more to the total. Beautiful stroke.
That'll be 4 more.
Well, he played that with a lovely straight bat.
That was a confident shot. The batsmen are coming back for a second.
He said they're appealing. Stupid running. That's throwing your wicket away.
Let's have a look at that from another angle. New batsman at the crease for England. Stopped in the covers. No runs there. Lovely shot, right out of the meat of the bat. Found the gap there, and that races away for 4.
That's great cricket. He knew there wasn't a fielder out there, so it wasn't risky.
That shot brought the crowd to their feet. Another over gone.
At this stage of the match, on this wicket, the spinners should be doing most of the bowling.
A dolly. That breakthrough now exposes the tail.
Well held by the fielder. That took a long time to come down.
Let's have a look at the action replay. Tail ender at the crease here. That's beautifully played, the ball coming right out of the middle of the... His timing's perfect today.
Ooh, he really laid into that one.
He's certainly not hanging around. No ball bowl. So the umpire signalling free hit, and so the batsman can only be run out off this ball. Oh, great shot. That's over the infield and racing away for four. He hit that over the top expertly. One more onto the team total.
No ball.
That was a sloppy piece of cricket. Batsmen are looking for two. Big shout. Not out. No balls these days mean the batsman has a free hit. He can only be run out off this ball. Quality timing there. He timed that to perfection.
Wonderful shot. He really punished the bowler there.
The crowd enjoyed that shot.
They're having a shout.
Not out.
The bowler looks very disappointed about that one.
A productive over for the batting side. Let's take a look at that from another angle. Well, that's a cracking shot.
That was a cracking shot. He really got into position beautifully there.
The crowd really enjoyed that one.
Batsmen are coming back for a second.
That's a confident appeal.
Another run onto the scoreboard. How important is it for a team to have an all-rounder these days, Tony?
Well, I might be a little bit biased, but I think that all-rounders have always been a vital part of the makeup of any team. The more of them you can have.
They're having a shout. He's called for the third umpire. Let's look at that again.
They're tough ones for the ump.
There's the signal. He's safe.
That's the end of another over. So, his final over then. What a superb shot. Great footwork, beautiful shot.
That's confidence for you. He must really fancy his chances today.
Splendid stroke.
Got him!
The batsman really had no answer to that ball. Let's have a look at that again. Into the tail now. No run there. No runs off that delivery. So, 7 off the over. No run. Edged.
That's out.
Serious pressure on the new man in then. That's another single there. Beautiful timing.
He's played that beautifully once more.
He's found the gap.
That was a confident shot. Oh, great shot.
That's 4 all the way.
That was a cracking shot. He really got into position beautifully there.
He placed that superbly.
No runs there. The bowler concedes 9 off the over. Let's take a look at that from another angle. How important is it to have a decent spinner in the team, Tony?
Having a decent spinner in the team is vital. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that the ideal situation was to have 2 spinners in the side. We've certainly seen recently the Australians play 2 leg spinners. But we all...
They're having a shout. That's out. That about wraps it up now.
Great fielding. That was a superb throw.
Let's look at that again. New batsman in. Dot ball and the end of the over. This will be the off-spinner's last over.
No ball.
Another no ball, another free hit. The batsmen are coming back for 2.
Confident appeal. Out.
That's a terrible call. He left his partner high and dry there.
Let's have a look at that from another angle.
That's it. It's all over.
Well, the winning team really took their chances here today and they've been rewarded. Congratulations to them.